Now, the next step is you want to connect your back hook with your head hook. And as I said before, a lot of the fish you will catch will be on the back hook. So you want a good purchase of the back hook on the head hook, because if you hook a 30 or a 40-pound bass on the tail hook, you don't want it pulling off the head hook. So the way I do that is a series of half hitches. And a half hitch is just you loop the Dacron line, the tag end, and turn it and put it right down on the shank of the hook. And the first one you pull nice and easy like so, because you don't want to pull that back hook up any further into the body of the lure. However, the successive half hitches, you tight. You put a nice tight hold on it. And a half hitch is just very easy. A lot of fly tyers use it. Even surgeons use it to tie off operations. Just loop the line, twist it, and put it right down on the shank of the hook. And you do successive half hitches right up the shank. You do about 8 of them. I can do this fast because I've done so many of these. But again, loop, twist, right on the shank, and you pull that right down on each other, like so. And you do about 7 or 8 half hitches right up the shank until it's right behind the eye of the lure, or the eye of the hook, rather. Now, so those half hitches won't unravel, just put the lure on a bench, flat surface, and just tie a simple overhand knot on the double Dacron line. And it can be anywhere along that length, because what you're going to do is you're going to grab both tag ends of that Dacron and just pull that knot right down on the half hitches, and that prevents the half hitches from unraveling. Trim off the tag end like so, and you're ready for your next step. The next step is you're going to push the rest of this 7/0 head hook with the Dacron on it into the body of the Slug-go. And you want the Slug-go, the rubber of the Slug-go lure, to hold on to that hook, because if you didn't glue it, and that's what we're going to do next, we're going to glue the half hitches. If you didn't glue it, every time you casted it, it would come in like that, and you don't want that. You want to keep it nice and neat and all together so you get the ultimate action. Now what you do is you get your Zap-A-Gap or any type of quick drying glue like that, and you just coat the Dacron on the head hook liberally, and then with one motion push the hook into the Slug-go, the body of the Slug-go, with the heel of your hand. It's kind of messy, but this will prevent you from casting that head hook out of the body of the lure, because you cast this thing just like any other type artificial. Now, the rigging process is completed. The last step, however, is you're going to weight this. Now, alone, it doesn't weigh much. It doesn't cast well, so you want to get a better casting lure, and you want to be able to fish this in all different type situations, all different type water depths. So the way you do enhance that and get that versatility is by using Lunker City insert weights. And the weight that you want to get is the 3/32 of an ounce. And I found that 3 placed in the body of the Slug-go in different positions is the best amount. I've tried all different all different numbers of weights, but I found that 3 really works out well. And curiously, the weights enhance the action of the lure. Most lures that you weight, most artificials that you weight, it tends to hinder the action. With this lure, it really enhances the action. It allows it to be much more versatile lure. You can fish it in rips, deep water, moving water, rough water, and it also casts like a bullet. The first weight is put in parallel to the lure, right in back of the head hook, like so. And these weights have serrations on them, so you don't have to glue them. They won't fall out of the lure. and you turn the lure around and you put one right parallel to the other one on the other side, like so. And the last one, which is I think the most important weighting, is you just lay the Slug-go down and put it right in the tail, as close to the tip of the tail as you can, like so. And there you have it, the 9-inch rigged and weighted Slug-go. It is a real fish catching machine. Thank you. Okay, after rigging the 9-inch Slug-go with the 2 hooks and weights, you're hopefully going to take it down to the shoreline and fish it. The 9-inch Slug-go is a 50-50 lure, I call it. 50% is how you rig it, and more importantly, the other 50% is how you fish it. Now, you don't fish this really like any other artificial that you may use along the Striper coast. It is fished very similar to a pencil popper or a Zara spook. However, you have to fish it a little differently. Spinning tackle lends itself to fishing the 9-inch Slug-go because you have to use a fast retrieve, and it just lends itself to spinning tackle. Also, a shorter rod might be in order. When I fish the Slug-go, I use an 8 or a 9-foot rod, and that's it. I don't go any longer because a 10 or 11-foot rod would be a little unwieldy and a little tough to fish this lure. But basically, when you fish the 9-inch Slug-go, you make a cast into productive water, hopefully. Let the lure sink a bit, and it depends on how deep the water is. Generally, most surf fishing is done in 10 feet or less water, but you have to take into consideration if the water is rough or calm, and if it's moving. That would come from seeing the spot and making that determination. But nevertheless, when you make your cast, count to 2 or 3 seconds and then start retrieving. Now, you should be holding your rod in this manner. Point the rod tip up, and as soon as the lure gets to a depth that you want to start fishing it, start bouncing the rod tip and reeling medium to fast. And you reel that fast and bounce the rod tip that way. As I said, much like a Zara spook or a pencil popper. Now, halfway back on the retrieve, you switch position from this to the side. Now, you continue bouncing the rod tip and reeling. Take some time getting used to, but what that does is keeps the Slug-go subsurface, and striped bass, particularly after dark, seem to want this lure underneath the surface of the water, even if it's only 2 or 3 inches, as long as it's not on the surface and underneath the surface. That's what you want to achieve. And you would, halfway back on a retrieve, switch the rod to this method in this position and reel it all the way up to your to the rock you're standing on or the sandbar. And that's basically it.